Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a QTT. I think that's what I'm going to call it. Quick tactics suck, or quick tactics tidbit. Quick tidbit tactic. We're on the, I don't know, we're on the QTT here, right? Okay. So, still a work in progress. Here we are. I'm in the 1357, well overpowered tier 7 light tank. I like it quite a bit. It's French, little autoloader. It has 7 rounds in it. Only does like 85 alpha, something like that. 90 alpha with each shot. This is a bit of a comeback on this one. We are here on Live Oaksdorf, and we're going to talk a little bit about misdirection as soon as I figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with the graphics, because a more professional person would be ready, but I am not. Talk about misdirection and some things you can do, especially late game, but with faster tanks, and really with any tank, but it really is quite effective with light tanks. It's not a perfect example, but we'll talk about it as we go. We have a Su-8. I'm headed for the artillery. Right now, the guys back at Cap are doing a good job keeping the Hellcat and the KV-2 pinned down, and I want to go get rid of the Su-8. I feel like based on the guys we have back at Cap that we're going to be fine in terms of not getting pushed and losing. Normally, I would advocate go back and help those guys get eyes on the Hellcat and the KV-2, but I'm pretty well down to close to a one-shot to the Hellcat and certainly a one-shot for the KV-2. So we're going to head this way, and I feel like I'm fast enough to get back if I need to. All right, so we come in here and we light the Su-8. You have to assume that the Su-8 has 6th sense. If he doesn't, great, that's a bonus, but I will go into this assuming that he knows he's lit. So he probably knows the light tank is somewhere nearby, and he's headed for this building right here. So we're going to come in here across the bridge to get there as fast as possible. And unfortunately, I noted the KV-2s just killed the Hellcat. And we're going to come across here and then cut around here because why? Well, he was pointing straight at me, so I don't want to give him an opportunity to snapshot me. I'm going to make a bit of a mistake here because I actually am too high coming around this corner, and we're going to catch a piece of him, and he definitely sees me right there. All right, so he's done a pretty nice job of charging in there looking for me, trying to find me, trying to shotgun me. Unfortunately, I'm lit right now, so we're going to do this. I know he's behind this rubble pile, and I don't feel like he's going to be able to come around it very quickly. He thinks about coming around. Now he's just trying to point, right? I'm going to take a quick look here and see if I can get a shot, and that doesn't look good. It looks like an opportunity for him to blap me. So now we're going to talk about the misdirection part. And I said it was not a perfect example because time dilation when you're playing the game. When I had this game, I felt like I had gone plenty far enough before I started turning. But we're going to talk about that and the timing right here, even though this isn't a great example of it. He is still lit. So when he goes dark, more than likely you're dark. There we go. All right, so your timing starts right there, around 10-ish seconds. Some people have mods that have the little thing that lets you know how long it's been since you were lit, all that kind of stuff. I kind of do this in my head, but you'll notice I start turning way too early, 1001, 1002, and we're going to carve around here. More than likely, if the Su-8 was paying attention, he saw me start to turn. If he wasn't paying attention, he may not have seen me start to turn. So you've got to kind of do that math in your head. How far do I go before I start to turn? Anytime I break away from somebody, get out of their proxy light range, and they go dark, I assume I'm dark on them unless I'm being lit by somebody else. We're going to also assume here we're not. Although the Hellcat's fast enough, he could have come back this way. That's also in my head, though, because now I'm in between the Su-8 and where the Hellcat was lit. Back over here, he's within draw distance right now, just. So I really don't want to go wandering around down here too much further to the north before I go get rid of the Su-8. And I have a time problem because I need that Su-8 to die so I don't get sandwiched between him and the Hellcat. All right, so there's a lot of things going on right there. So I'm going to cut around this way as opposed to go the other way. The problem is I don't know if the Su-8 knows I came back around this way, so we're going to use a little bit of misdirection and a little bit of speed here to come around, and we'll find this dude. He's actually sitting right there, right? So he was, and it looks to me like he was unsure because he's sort of looking that way. So I don't know if he thought I was coming around that way or he was just prepared to turn right or left, depending on which way I came at him. So it would be interesting to know that, but it turns out that what I did right there was enough to get his gun offline. I can auto-aim him, and I'll just come in here and quickly shotgun this guy down or machine gun this guy down, and we'll hit C right away and get reloaded. So misdirection right there is a great thing to use. You can use it with any tank. The faster ones work better. One of the problems with getting into a situation like that where I've got a guy pinned down is I don't want to get shotgunned. One of the problems, one of the many problems. I don't want to get shotgun, and I don't want him to pin me down long enough that one of the other guys comes over and helps him. So there's a time problem here. Plus, we only have 4.5 minutes left in this battle. So some things to think about in terms of misdirection, how to disengage from somebody and then come back in an unexpected direction. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure he didn't see me start to turn right there. One other thing I will throw out, it's a great technique to start a turn in a direction, and then when you know you're unlit or have a good guess that you're probably unlit, come back the other way. That will fool them all as well. You ever get in one of those situations where you're stuck against a rock with somebody, you'll see people back out till they go outside of proxy light range. That gives them a slight advantage right there. Or at the very least, they don't see you and you don't see them. Because one of the other issues is if there's an artillery in the game, they start bombing you because you're proxy lit by your buddy right there. All right, just some things to think about in terms of misdirection, late game tactics on how to take down guys such as that. That is all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. We will see ya.